Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Josh, and today we're going to be working on this 599.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
Dan's done a lot of the exhaust work. I didn't really help him too much with that, so I've been tasked with installing this Novatec suspension. So we're going to put that on. I'm going to start with this back corner. I believe we do sell this, so we'll put the part number and everything, and a link for the suspension in the description. We can get these for any Ferraris. They're actually made by KW. You can see on the label it says Novatec, made by KW. They make these are the standard suspension. They also have one with a built-in lift on them that you can get, and they're significantly more expensive, but it'll give you the front lift. We've got this little module here that I have to figure out how to wire in. It did not come with instructions. I found some online that are a little outdated and in German. Some of it's in German, so we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to start with the back tire, take it off, pull that shock out, put a new one in. I'm going to have to match up the ride height so that it doesn't get too far off, because we've got these new wheels over here we're going to put on. These are GTO wheels. Just got these mounted on fresh tires. All right, here we go. So I got the wheel off. It looks like they're held in with 4 nuts up there, and then just the main nut that goes through there. I mean, it's like really easy to do this rear. I shouldn't say that, because usually that's when it turns into a problem, but we'll see. Doesn't look too bad though. So we'll just undo these, undo that, and see what happens. All right, just thought I'd let you guys know, these are a 13 millimeter up here, so you just take those off. And then this here is a 18 on one side and a 19 on the other, so you just grab a wrench on both sides and you just unscrew that thing, and the bolt goes all the way through. Make sure you leave one of these in before you do it, because if you undo this, the whole thing is going to come down and it's going to be harder to get the bolt that goes through there out. So leave that one, take that bolt out, then you can undo that, and we should be able to pull this whole thing out. All right, I got everything unbolted. It looks like I'm probably gonna have to undo these control arms in order to get this out. I kind of thought that might be the case, but it looks like it is. Also, these are electronic shocks, and they have the plug up there, so once we get it out, we're gonna have to unplug it. You could do this through the top too, but I think it's gonna be easier just to pull it through and unplug it once we pull it through.
Hey YouTube, it's Dan, and I'm editing here, and unfortunately it looks like we got no audio, so I'm just going to voice over it. So there's the level sensor. Josh had to disconnect that, remove it from the frame over there, and next up, okay, so Josh had to remove those 4 bolts that hold on that control arm. I don't know what size they are. It looks like the stud came out in the one. That sucks. That's annoying. The rest of them seem to be intact. Okay, cool. And right there you can see that's the level, or the shock sensor, so we're going to have to disconnect that, which he does. Okay, now we've got the KW and the old suspension, so you need some parts off of the original suspension, so we're going to have to use a spring compressor, which is always kind of sketchy. No one likes doing those things. Anyway, oh, look, that thing just fell off. Okay, well, there's the plug for the sensor that tells the shocks the different settings, so when you change your drive modes, it has different settings. Obviously, the new shocks don't have that. So, okay, see that rubber gasket thingy? We need that on that. See, so that's going to go over there. And then you're going to put that hat on it. Yeah, that's right. I'm calling it a hat. I don't know what it is. It's just there, whatever the hell the thing is. What else is going on? Okay, yeah, we still got to wire that crap up. And surprisingly, the instructions on it were not super clear, but I think there's only like 4 wires you have to actually worry about connecting. So, hooray, that wasn't terribly difficult. I remember actually helping him with that. Okay, what else is going on? Yeah, let's oh, there you go. There's the spring compressor. Okay, so we compressed the spring. We're able to get that top piece off. Got that rubber boot thing. Cool. We don't use that sleeve you see in the upper right hand corner of the screen. And then there's something that holds things in place. Oh, look, it looks like a nut. There's probably a nut that holds it in place. Okay. Yeah. I don't think you actually have to do the spring compressor on the KW. I don't know. I didn't do this. Oh, look, there's the hat. Yay, the hat.
All right, everybody, I got this one back in. Not too much effort. Slide the shock in. Start these 4 just so they're started, but don't tighten them down. Then you can get the bottom part in, slide the bolt that goes through here. You're gonna have to lift up on the brake rotor a little bit so that it lines up. Get that done, then you can re-bolt or reattach the control arm, and then tighten everything up. Make sure you torque those, and torque this real good. We're good to go on this side. So basically when we drop the car down, it's probably gonna need to be adjusted. So there's a little tool to undo this set screw here, and we'll lower this down to lower the car and raise it up to raise the car. So we'll move on to the front. The front looks very, very similar. Looks like I'm probably gonna have to take the control arm off on this, and basically the same exact thing on the front. All right, so I got the one shock done. I'm gonna mess with this computer and see if I can figure it out. So it came with this aftermarket suspension computer, and the factory one is there. See those 3 nuts holding that on, and then there's a little shelf up there. You can see where that black plug is right there. That's the suspension computer. So I'm gonna take that out and see what that looks like and see what the deal is. The instructions don't really tell you a whole lot on this, so I'm gonna have to figure it out. All right, so I got the old suspension computer out. There it is right there. And I got the harness taken apart. So we're gonna tap into those wires, and I'm gonna do exactly what it says on this diagram, which only says we need to use 4 wires, but there's 8 wires on this thing. So I'm just gonna do exactly what the instructions are attempting to say, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I got it all wired up. It says to mount it in the old spot with zip ties to the old one, so I'm gonna make that try to look nice. So basically you do brown wire to black wire, red wire to orange wire, green wire to green wire, and the yellow to white. And that's exactly what I did. And then there's 4 wires left over. Don't know what those are for. So yeah, we'll get it all buttoned up, and I still have 3 more shocks to do. So I've got to do this side and the front on the other side. I got the computer and harness all secured in there. I actually used some double-sided tape to stick it to this, and I zip tied all the harnesses so it looks nice and clean. So we're good there. So now I'm gonna move up and do the front left shock. Like I said, we got to take off those 4 bolts holding the strut, the 4 bolts holding these, the level sensor we're going to disconnect. I already got the bolt out that holds the bottom. It's actually a tie rod end like this, so it goes through like that. So the best thing to do is disconnect this top bolt, undo the bottom bolt, and then it kind of slides out like that. I'm going to disconnect the level sensor and then pull the strut out. Make sure you unplug the harness at the top. All right, I got the old strut out. There's the old one, there's the new one that's going in. I got to do the same thing on this one. Got to transfer over the bushing from the top. So you just unscrew this, take that out. I'll have to undo the top nut on that, disassemble, move everything over here, reassemble it on the new one, and then we'll put it back in there. So I got that one all apart. You want to torque that nut at the top to 25 foot-pounds according to the instructions. So we'll do that, and then that's ready to go back in the car. All right, I got the front reassembled. These are all tight. Make sure you reconnect the level sensor, the 4 bolts or 4 nuts for the upper control arm, sway bar, end link, that and that. Make sure everything's torqued really good. One note, you want to lower the car with the wheel on the other side so that this lines up. This bolt lines up and goes through that sway bar. Otherwise you're never going to get it through if it's off the ground, because there's no tension on it and it doesn't line up. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, we're all set there. So now I'm just going to do the same exact thing on the other side, and then we're going to put those sweet GTO wheels that we have on over there and see how it looks. All right, I couldn't resist. I had to put the wheels on. So those are the new GTO wheels. They look pretty sweet. Really good fitment. I don't know how it's going to look quite yet, because we can't lower it all the way because there's no transmission in it, but I think it looks pretty good. So onward to the other side. Well, I'll show you the other side so you can get a better comparison of how crappy these old wheels were. Terrible. Ooh. They look like they belong on a 348 or something. Much better.